All right, what's up, y'all? Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? It's been a long day. It's been a very, very long day full of storms, even longer here in the newsroom today. But that's why we're going to take the edge off a little bit. I can hear the thunder going outside, and I'm typically the sports guy. And, on days like this, sports kind of gets pushed to the back, and weather gets brought to the forefront. But let's take a nice little chill pill because I have dreams, I have aspirations of not only being a sports anchor, but a game show host. And with the Final Four vastly approaching, I thought let's take some trivia. Let's have a good time, kick back our feet a little bit, and let's get into our trivia today. Got 13 people on Facebook, a few people on YouTube. We're having a good time. We're going to have a good time here today. So if you guys are ready, I sure am ready. And feel free to drop your answers in the chat, wherever that may be. Facebook, YouTube, heck, you can write us an email if you want to. I'll read it. I'm the digital guy as well. So let's get this kicked off here right now. See this map? Check out this map of the United States. See on the right side, only winners of the NCAA championship has happened on the right side. On the left side, nobody has won it for a long time, decades even. Who was the last team on the left side of that map to win a national championship? I'll give you all some time to figure that out. See, now the next step in this is going to be getting some music. Getting some music while we wait for the answer. Y'all got it? All right. The answer to that question would be Arizona. Back in 1997, Arizona won themselves a national championship. Since then, every single winner of the NCAA tournament has come east of that line. Think about it. It's a weird thing, but it's true. Guys, we fill out brackets every year, but how long did the most accurate bracket survive of all time? The most accurate bracket of all time. How long did it go? I'll tell you about how long mine went. About 5.5 games. Nah, I'm just kidding. This year actually went really well for me. I had a great time. Great time this last year. Brennan in the chat. Oregon. I don't know about Oregon. It's been a while since Oregon's won much of anything outside of a few Big Ten championships. But hey, let me get you the answer to that question. 49 games. Back in 2019, someone went 49 games in a row with winning those games, going straight with accurate. Think about it. My mind instantly goes 49-game parlay. That is an insane payout. I don't care how much money you got on that. That is a good time. Let's think about some games that might bust up something like that. Who was the first 16 seed to ever knock off a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament? Think hard about this one. It's this team. It is this team. I did y'all a disservice by blocking out the name of that team. But put your thinking caps on. Take a little break. Dig deep into that memory box. Guys, that team, the UMBC Retrievers, they knocked off Virginia 74-54 in 2018. And the craziest thing about that wasn't even a close game. That's a good win against a team. Have you ever heard of a team being the Retrievers? Like the Golden Retrievers? I haven't. That's the first time I've ever heard about that. And the NCAA tournament will bring out some guys like that. Remember St. Mary's, the Peacocks with Doug with the mustache? That's a weird one. I haven't seen a Peacocks team before either as well. But let's get into the next question here. How many teams have won back-to-back NCAA championships? There's a lot of them. There is a lot of them. More than I thought would be, to be honest with you. And this year we actually had a special one. Y'all ready? There has actually been 7 teams that have won an NCAA tournament back-to-back years. I'm looking at it right here. We have Oklahoma State, Kentucky, San Francisco. The 50s were a weird time. We have Cincinnati, UCLA, Duke, Florida, and actually UConn. UConn actually had an interesting opportunity this year. They could have three-peated. They just didn't have the team this year. And that's a hard thing to do, three-peat, especially in college. Think about it. Guys graduate. That's a big offer. But 2 in a row, that's still pretty dang impressive. Now I want you guys to think a little bit back. This is before my time for this next question, to be honest with you. That's the only hint you're going to get. Who's the all-time leading scorer in the NCAA tournament? Guy was famous. Didn't quite have the NBA career as much as he did in college. But definitely played a huge role in the NCAA tournament lore. Think about it just a little bit more. Think about it just a little bit more. You had Christian Laettner. You were right. 407 points in 23 NCAA games. That's insane. Some people don't score 403 points in a season. And he did so in just 23 NCAA tournament games. There's a lot of lore behind that. There's a good ESPN 30 for 30 on, actually. It's just a little before my time, so I'm not as familiar with it, to be honest with you. But let's move back into our next question. Question number 6. When was that term March Madness first used on the broadcast? There's actually an interesting answer to this question. We'll dig a little bit into the history when you guys get some of these answers in. Shout out Brett Anthony. Christian Laettner, he had it. He had it. Still thinking? All right, let's get to it. The first March Madness term was actually coined in 1939. That was back in Illinois. An Illinois official described a high school team as March Madness. But later on in 1982, it was used to describe the NCAA on the tournament, on the broadcast, and ever since it's stuck. It's actually pretty much reserved the whole month of March. And when you think of month, or when you think of March, you think of March Madness at this point. It's pretty much dominated the same way you think of Sunday, you think of the NFL. Kind of the same feeling, you know what I mean? And who is very familiar with March Madness, that leads us into our next question. University, which one has the most Final Four appearances? I almost accidentally gave you the answer there. That would have been messy. Al McGuire, 1978, really? Yeah, that's an interesting take. Again, a little before my time. I got to do my research on Al McGuire, But who has the most Final Four appearances? And when you looking at this question, you got to think it's probably one of the Blue Bloods. Got to be one of the Blue Bloods. And if you had that, you were right. University of North Carolina, Tar Heels. They have 21 appearances in the Final Four. 21! That is crazy, because there's a lot of people that make these tournaments. Who makes it 21 times to the Final Four? That doesn't mean that they've won the most, though. UCLA actually has that title. We're not done here. We've got a few more questions for you. As in, who won the first ever NCAA tournament? Bonus if you can guess what year that was. Who won the first NCAA tournament? This question's actually already been answered in the chat a little bit down here. Who won the first one? Well, to answer the first question, or to answer the second question, 1939. That's when the very first NCAA tournament happened. Actually, the NIT came out in 1938. The NCAA tournament isn't even the first tournament to come about in college basketball. And when it first opened up, they just had 8 teams in there. Who was the one that won it all? That would be the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks are the very first team to ever win a national championship. And like I said earlier, they haven't really won a whole lot since. But we still have one more question, or I guess we have 2 more questions. Speaking of teams that haven't really won a whole lot, who is the only Power 5 team that hasn't won an NCAA tournament? I, again, didn't do you any favors blocking it out, but if we just wait, the big ol' N. That N stands for no NCAA tournament wins. So sorry, Big Red, but you guys are having a big ol' 0 in the win column in the NCAA tournament. Hey, there's always next year, right, guys? Right, guys? Well, that takes us in to our final question. This one, leave it all up to the chatters here on this one. Who's winning it this year? Please let me know. I got to know who's winning it this year because I need to make sure that my bracket is going to be sitting pretty here. If I have, I can answer this question a few different ways, and it really just depends on which bracket I'm talking about. If I'm going to talk about my bracket for the office pool, I'm pulling for Houston. I want the big men from down south to win it. But a few other brackets, family bragging rights and stuff like that, give me Florida. I'll tell you what, though, the more that I watch this tournament, the more that I believe in Houston. Houston's just on a roll right now. The way they beat Tennessee, the way I think they're going to big man Duke, these guys have experience. Kelvin Sampson's that guy. And it's about time he goes and takes one in and just has that big time trophy on his wall. And they have that, finally can hang that banner up down in Houston. Y'all, make sure you let me know, who do you think is going to win this tournament? And make sure you're tuning in to CBS 19 to watch it this Saturday, the Final Four. Don't miss it. It's going to be good basketball. It has to be good basketball. They're all number one seeds. It better be. Well, I'll see y'all next time. We'll do some trivia. Let's make this a thing. We'll see y'all next time. Have a good one, y'all.